Only on Way 31, the man behind hits for artists like Alabama, Jimmy Buffett, Kenny Chesney, and Sawyer Brown, among many, many others, helped kick off the holidays just a few weeks ago with his Down the Road for the Holidays concert in the Shoals. Renowned singer-songwriter and musician Mac McAnally came home to help raise money for the Muscle Shoals Music Foundation, and he was kind enough to spend a little time with me before the show.
I was such a bashful kid. I honestly would never have gone anywhere and said somebody should listen to me. I just didn't have that in me. And I had no real ambition to be in the middle of a stage.
That may sound strange coming from 10-time CMA Musician of the Year and longtime member of the Coral Reefer Band, Mac McAnally.
My whole aspiration was really to be supplemental, to be a helper. To help somebody else realize their dream, and that would have been mine.
Born in Red Bay, Alabama, and raised across the state line in Belmont, Mississippi, Mac was given the gift of music.
I never really envisioned it being a livelihood. I think my parents probably, they thought I was talented from the time I was in the crib. They said, he's got the call to preach music.
All that changed at the age of 13 for a boy whose mom was a music minister.
And there was a guy from Muscle Shoals here named Shelby Dean Lindley, worked at the Ford Place body shop, that had a job, nighttime job, leading a band called Dean and the Reefers across the state line in Iron City. And he came when I was 13 and made a pitch to my parents for me to play illegally underage at Iron City at the Circle E Club. And I was thinking my parents were about to throw him off the porch because neither one of them had ever been to a honky-tonk and were never ever going to go to one. They were very religious. But Dean made a nice pitch and he said, you know, I'm a good Christian man. I know you want your son to be a musician. I'll come down here and get him and I'll bring him back when we're done, because I couldn't drive, I was 13.
Much to his surprise, Mac's parents let him take the gig, making $250 a week, more than his dad was making teaching school and his mom at the Wrangler plant.
Kind of ironic that it was Dean and the Reefers and I ended up in the Coral Reefer Band, sort of a bookend deal. You know, Shelby Dean Lindley was a really nice guy, but he didn't know what reefer was. He just thought it was a cool sounding word, and he had it painted on our van. And Dean had a crew cut and was really straight laced, and he could never understand why all of the long hairs gave us a peace sign when we drove by, because he didn't know what reefer was. And
Mac spent his teenage years playing at the different studios in the Shoals, soaking up everything he could from some of the greatest names in the music industry. His big break came at 19 when an artist missed their flight. A band and no artist meant someone was going to cut a song if they had one.
One of my best friends at the time was the engineer in the studio, and he said, Mac writes songs, he's just bashful. And they made me play a song, and I played a song for them, and they said, we'll make a record on you. That was that.
Mac would go on to become the master storyteller and musician he is today. His ability to evoke emotion, uncanny, and it shines in his work.
It means something to me what song I'm recording that day. I'm not just playing a guitar. I want somebody's dream to come true. And there's a songwriter, usually 2 or 3 on every song. And there's an artist, and that artist's family, their dreams are all tied up in that song. So I take that very seriously, what it is, even if I'm just strumming a rhythm guitar that day, or whether I'm producing or singing or arranging, or whether I'm just going to get cheeseburgers for people that are better than me that are doing it instead of me. I don't care. I'm in the service of music, and that makes me feel good every day.
Always keeping his roots close to heart.
Everything I do, everywhere that I go, I carry myself differently because I know what I got from this place, and I know that I'm coming back to this place. It influences everything. I'm just so happy to get to do this some more, which is the biggest reward of music, is you get to do some more.
And Dan, you know, I really could have sat there and talked to Mac for hours.
Oh,
He's
I bet.
so sincere and just genuinely a nice guy all around, and the stories he can tell, There a lot.
I love it, in the service of music. I love that line. That's great. And of course, you mentioned McAnally was close friends with Jimmy Buffett, played in the band, wrote songs for him,
Co-wrote,
produced albums.
Yeah, especially that latest album, Equal Strain on All Parts. And, you know, he was with him for close to 4 decades. And the loss of Jimmy Buffett still very difficult for Mac and really the rest of the Coral Reefer Band and many parrot heads across the country and around the world. And we did talk about Jimmy during the interview. Take a listen.
Well, I miss looking over and grinning at the guy, you know, and I miss him looking back and saying, "You believe we're getting to do this," you know, because that was every night. There's never been anybody that toured that enjoyed standing there and doing it more than him. He literally would have done it for nothing. I know he made a lot of money, but that's what he would have done for entertainment if he wasn't getting paid.
That part of the interview is something you can watch exclusively right now on waytv.com. Just open up this story. It's already there for you. My full interview with Mac is also there online. We covered so much, from hearing his songs being played at sold-out NFL stadiums to some of the songs he's most proud of. Too much good stuff, Dan, to include in just one story for all of you. While you're there, you can also learn how you can donate to the Muscle Shoals Music Foundation, which is really, as you may know, is really the heartbeat at what keeps the magic flowing in the Shoals. It's been around since 1969. Open up this story, scroll to the bottom. You'll see all of the thumbnails and everything you need to get more on this.
Looking forward to it at waytv.com.